Hi everyone, I'm here with Kyle, and he's from Kyle2.6 on Instagram. How are you, Kyle?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm great. Thank you so much, and thank you for doing the Talking with Sal show. I'm so glad that you finally decided to work.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, for all you that know Kyle, he's super talented. He has really cute pictures and really cool concepts on Instagram, and he's also a doll designer. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that today, but first introduce yourself, Kyle.
All right, so hi, my name is Kyle. As Sal said earlier, a lot of you know me as Kyle 2.6 on Instagram. Um, if you don't know my work, you will know my work. Just follow me, look at my stuff, and you'll see what's going on there. I am a multi-talented person. Um, I do a lot of things, but I'm not a master of any of them, just to keep the ball rolling and having a lot of things to do so I can help myself in the meantime. Because sometimes it's not really easy to have to commission someone to do something. So I had to just learn how to do certain things just to help myself out. So I do a little doll repainting. I'm a doll fashion designer, as well as I do make my own props sometimes and my own backgrounds, like you can see right now. As well as I reroute. That is the main thing that I really do.
And that's actually how I met you, like a really
Yeah.
long time ago. Because I think Kyle back then when I did commissions, Kyle was like, so how much do you charge for reared so that I can work out my pricing? And that's how we met. But I actually met him through his personal account first. I didn't know he was.
Yeah.
And then he sent me the link, and then we added each other, and we actually met at the 2019 convention.
Which is an incredible year. Oh my gosh. That was a great convention. And it was an absolute honor to meet you because I was like, before that, we all just know this person, Salvador. We know him as a huge icon in our community. So it was an absolute pleasure to finally meet you in person.
And then you realize that I'm really short. No, you're just really tall. That's
Oh my gosh.
so let me take it back a little bit. You're from an immigrant family, right?
Pardon?
You're from an immigrant family, right?
That's correct. My family's from Jamaica, and I'm also from Jamaica, and I came here a few years ago.
And so like to take you back to your childhood, I don't know how it is with Jamaican culture, but with Mexican culture, we're not really allowed to play with dolls. So like how does that
Same.
go about you?
When it comes to gender roles, when it comes to boys playing with dolls, when it comes to girls playing with trucks, it's all just like it's very similar to the American culture, except it's more mentally draining as a kid, I would say. My childhood, I had to hide and play with dolls. My dad spoiled me with buying dolls for me, but that's just specifically because I really wanted dolls. But it wasn't something that I was really allowed to openly express. It was just something that I had to confine to my own room. And my mom hated the idea, but now she's okay with it because she knows that it's my passion. It's what I'm going to do, regardless of how she feels about it. So she just over time embraced it. My father just didn't really care because he just wanted to make me happy by the end of the day, as most fathers want to. As far as them not even trying to really deal with the situation that their son is playing with dolls, because that links to the stigma that because you have these particular things that makes you gay, and that goes into a deeper thing where for the longest time and before I even understood the word, people were calling me gay. I didn't get it because
Right.
I just thought I was being myself and just expressing myself the way I wanted to, and also trying to be quiet about it. Because in Jamaica, being gay is a huge deal. Being bisexual is a huge deal. Playing with dolls is a huge deal. Being a male fashion designer comes with those stigmas too. So it was a whole situation where I had to just find ways to be myself and also not be myself, just to fit in with society so I can blend in and not be picked on.
Right. And is Jamaica
Yeah.
a predominantly Christian or Catholic country?
Christian specifically, but also not really. A lot of people do go to church there, but
Mm.
none are really, let me say, the true believers in
Mhm.
terms of how they actually practice in their daily lives. It's like Sunday is the only time, or Saturday is the only time that they're really Christian for most people.
Right. That's why I had
Yeah.
to ask you. I ask a lot of my mail collector friends, like, what was your experience like? Because, coming from a very macho country too, I was like,
Hmm.
well, how was it for you? And then
Right.
you do hear those exceptions of people maybe in Jamaica or Mexico that are like, or Latin America that are like, oh yeah, I was fine, they didn't care. I'm like, damn, I'm so jealous. No, but I totally feel you on the name calling and everything, and I don't know. But later you were able to buy them as an adult, right?
Yeah, which is all absolutely awesome.
How did that started? Did you start out with Barbie like most of us?
Yes, actually, Barbie was the icon, honestly.
Yeah, she's still an icon.
She is the woman. I started out with having only one doll at a time because that's all we really could afford, as well as that's all that was really available. And most of them were all blonde. So it's kind of like a slight brainwashing in terms of what is available,
Yeah.
because Jamaica doesn't readily have all the lines of Barbie dolls. It's just what we have is what we have. And then depending on what city in Jamaica you are, they have a larger variety. But I didn't live in that city. I lived further away from that. So I just went with what I had. So typically speaking, I never really had a collection per se. I just went through loving dolls one at a time. I learned how to sew because of that too.
Mm.
And then I further went into fashion designing also because of Barbie. So she really was the startup for me. But my official collection started with Integrity in 2016 or 2015. I
Wow.
think I had my first doll, which was Style Notes Isha. Um, it was either her or Natalia who really was my first love. But I never got to get her because I wasn't a part of the club, so I had to go through eBay to gain what I wanted. So when I got Style Notes Isha, I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And that's really when my collection started, because from that point, I was able to get one doll every year. And then eventually, like probably in 2018, that's when I had like a plethora of dolls. I don't know when it got to that point, but I was really collecting a lot more dolls that I at first couldn't even afford. So I was like, wow, this club is amazing. These dolls are amazing. I love the aesthetic. I love the professionalism. I love how realistic they are. And that's really what my true passion is when it comes to doll collecting.
And I've always said once you get a taste of the good things, it's
Yep,
back.
exactly.
So prior to Integrity, were you collecting Barbie, like hardcore Barbie collector Barbie, or maybe
Mm-mm.
did you start?
No,
You went straight to Integrity for
I went
collecting.
straight to Integrity from
Wow.
there because, as I said, I like only had one doll at a time. And
Uh-huh.
then when I got bored of the doll, I cut her hair. I do something to make her more, I don't know, fun. But I wasn't serious about it until I had a doll that was more expensive. When you can't do too much with this doll. You have to take care of her because she
Mhm.
costs so much. Um, but with her, I still do collect Barbies every once in a while, just the ones that really pique my interest. So I do definitely have like a mixture of different dolls in my collection.
And how did you come to discover Integrity Toys dolls?
Oh wow. I knew of Integrity from 2014, but it was through online images where I didn't even know that there was an entire community of people who collect dolls as grown people and even younger people too. So the first image I remember seeing was the monograms.
Mm.
There were three dolls, three different skin tones in the same pattern dress, but different colors. And I was like, oh, these are so beautiful. What is this? Then I did a deep dive into Integrity and found out that there was a site. There was an entire elite set of people who are a part of this club that collect this doll. But at the time I saw the price range and I was like, oh, um, coming from Barbie,
Yeah.
I can't do this. But 2015, a friend helped me to get Style Notes Isha, and that's where it was like magic. And that's also when I taught myself how to reroute, because I wanted to change her hair. I couldn't do that. I did research on that too. So I was like, oh, this is really amazing.
How do you come across the images? Do you just randomly Google like doll pictures or?
Yes, I think I was just going through Barbie photos, and then you know how Google works, where it shows you stuff that you don't even look for.
Related? Mhm.
So that popped up. I clicked on that, and then more images popped up. I clicked on that, and I was like, oh, these are amazing.
And is that how you joined Instagram too?
No, I officially joined Instagram in 2016 because a friend of mine who is bionic doll agent.
Dominicano?
Yes.
Yeah.
He told me that there was an entire community, and I was like, what? So then he showed me his page, and I was over there. I was like, oh my gosh. So he pushed me to start my doll page, and I was like, I give him the highest regard for this, just because he is legit how I became a part of this amazing community.
Mhm.
Because if he didn't tell me, or if I never met him, I would not have known that there were other people like myself, because I thought I was just a unique individual who is so weird that he's the only one as old as he was collecting dolls, you know?
Right.
So he told me about it. I got into it, met some amazing people such as yourself, and I was like, these are my people. These are my people. They get me.
That's insane. Can you believe that's 2016 was literally 5 years ago?
Right? It's just,
I don't know how time is going by so fast, man.
yeah, facts.
Ugh. So you joined the Dolly Club when? You said in 2018, probably?
I would think probably 2017, 2018 officially. That should have been when I started officially, because me and Bionic Doll Agent, we both went in at the same time, because I had been on a wait list the year before but never got in. And then the year after, we both joined again and we got in. So that's really when really all of that started up.
So you pretty much went by fast. You were like, okay, I just joined. I'm going to convention. Like,
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
isn't it surreal when you first go to a convention, you meet people that you've known for a long time online in person?
Yes,
How weird
yes.
is it?
And to see how, you know how online personas are sometimes different from your personal
Uh,
life, where people just present themselves a certain way and then they're different in person. But the people that I've grown to love over the internet through this community, I met them in person. I was like, oh my gosh, you're the exact same person you are online. What? So it was really this beautiful thing where you know about this event, but you've never been able to participate. And then you went from not knowing how it feels to knowing how it feels, and to be on this kind of high for like 3 days. And even after, you're still on that high. You're like, I can't believe that happened. I met some great people. I got some great dolls. I got some stuff. It's just truly amazing to be a part of something so beautiful, you know?
it is, and
Mm-hmm.
I still have to pinch myself every time I go to one and see so many people, and it's crazy. And what you said about the online persona is like, I hope I'm just the same in person.
Oh, you definitely are.
But I feel like for you, I feel like you're more shy on the internet.
Really?
Yeah, like
Well, compared
on
to?
social media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you don't really put yourself out there, but then like in person, you're like, "Hey, how are you? What's up?" But I kind of like knew that already
Wow.
because we talked, we
Right.
FaceTimed a lot. We FaceTimed a lot, so we knew what our personalities were like before
Mhm.
we even met.
True.
So yeah, that's insane.
That's really shocking to hear you say that, though, because I kind of feel like I'm more shy in person.
No, 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 no. I feel like you're more shy, like on social media, but like here on your personal account or like your doll account
Hmm.
specifically, you're like more
Yeah.
reserved and you're one thing that I like about you and like so many of the people that you talk to, it's like how you are very supportive when someone's selling something. You're like,
Hmm.
oh, this this or so and so is selling something, like go check them out. And
Yeah, thank you so much. I just try to help out as much as I can because sometimes the most I can do is just to share
yeah.
because of how integrity keeps us busy with our pockets, I can't readily support everyone by buying something. So the least I can do is sharing so that the people who follow me who don't necessarily follow that person can see what they have and just go over there and support them too. Even if it's just to reshare as well, it's just all about sharing that love. And that's just something that we really need to do more as a community. Um, and I really feel like that is something that most of us do and we try to do as much as we possibly can just because it's always nice to just help someone out.
And that's one of the things that I like seeing, with the upcoming generations. You get different types of peoples with the upcoming, because you're younger than me. So
Right.
I like seeing how the younger and upcoming generation is being uplifting and supportive of each other instead of criticizing or judging or, just throwing negativity. It's really nice to see positivity
Right.
and
Yeah, true.
like a good community that you're like promoting. So I just have to say
Yeah.
that
Thank you so much.
first. And what do you have behind you? Can you like go through it a little bit?
All
Yeah.
right, so I had to prepare myself to do this interview today. And with that, because I like building sets, I just had this on my dresser. So I pulled this out into the living room because my room is not that big. And being in New York, we don't have a lot of space. So we have to make do with what we have and put everything as close as possible as we can. So right here I have basically a backstage type of situation as well as a dressing room. I have my mini me over there in the blue.
Oh, he does
Get a
look
closer
awesome.
look there. And he is just on the floor with his girls designing a new dress. Two of which I've actually made myself. The black ensemble on Danya, I made that, as well as the purple ensemble on the dress form
They're
that
beautiful.
I also presented at the 2019 convention as my designs.
I remember.
Yeah,
They're so beautiful, and
thank you so much.
wow, you should sell them.
Um, these ones are one of a kinds, and because they're kind of imperfect, so I really don't want anyone to see the details that are in these ones specifically because of how they were done. I just had to quickly do what I had to do because of the crunch time to prepare myself for convention. With my daily life and my doll life, it's kind of like just finding a balance between the two. So sometimes I had to cut corners just to make it the way it is. So if I was ever gonna sell these two pieces, I would have to like redo them. So this way I know that I know what I'm getting myself into. I know how to do this or that. And I can just pretty much do it properly the second go around. Because doll scale, sometimes it just does not work the way you want it to. Because from design to the actual thing, oof, it was a struggle.
But they look beautiful, and I remember seeing them in person. I don't know what Imperfections he's talking about. Uh, they were really cute, and I was talking to a friend too. Felipe. I was like,
Yeah,
you're gonna make something, and you're not gonna want to sell it because when you kind of like get attached sometimes. I feel,
that is true.
and I was like, you're gonna get attached. Like I get attached to like certain pieces that I make. I think I've kept one so far, so
Wow.
I'm too attached. But
I
um,
would have kept more if that were me, honestly.
I really do like that's something that I tell people. Like when I make something to sell, I make it with the conscience that if I don't sell it, I'll want to keep it.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah,
like
but
that.
I would never sell anything that I wouldn't want for myself.
That is true.
But at the same time, I do listen to my customers and see like what do they want to see, what do they want. But like if I don't sell it, I want to keep it. So
Yeah,
I always
that's true.
have that
I would
mentality.
do the same thing. Yeah.
And you're also doing some dioramas, I see. I see the one that Elaine created and you like built
Yes.
stuff.
So I got the dressing room slash poppy lounge, and I decided to go with the dressing room because that was more my aesthetic. I love black and white themed anything and grayscales. So I really went with that instead of the pink diorama. I got it the year after it was actually presented because of availability. And of course, we know how if you're not in the club, we just don't get access to it. So I jumped on it the quickest chance I could get. I don't even know if it was overpriced, but all I know is I have it, I enjoy it, and I'm good.
And it's
And
cute.
go ahead.
And it's cute.
Thank you so much. um, and I really like building stuff for the sake of keeping my hands occupied, and that's why I do have a lot of things that I do every now and then. I might switch between just to keep it fresh and not to get bored because I get bored very easily. Um, so it's just to keep occupied and just have something to do, even when I have a lot of things in my personal life that are coming up. I just try to make time as much as possible.
And I know that, but that's because we're friends. So it's
Yeah.
it's like I know everything that you've gone through, and I respect you because you
Yeah, thank you. I
and
respect you too.
and we all know how hard the quarantine was for so many of us,
Oh, let's not even.
and yeah, and that's exactly why I'm saying it. It's like you really pulled through, and that's so admirable. And like, let me ask you something that I that's a lot of my guests.
Sure.
How crazy would you have gone if you hadn't collected dolls during the pandemic?
Um, wow, that is a very good question. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think probably 20. Because like people don't understand, and this is what most adults don't get when it comes to them not understanding doll collecting or even buying a doll for someone. They
Mhm.
don't understand that dolls are an escape. My doll page is my escape from life, because sometimes life just gets too much where you just need something to take you away from it, even for just 10 minutes or a good hour. Because doll play, every single time I feel down or depressed, I take out a doll, I dress a doll, I feel great afterwards. People don't get that it's a great thing to have something to focus on, something you enjoy, something you know in yourself that this is good, this is pure, this is something that is yours, you know? So during the quarantine, I had my dolls. I was good just because I had my dolls. I could dress them, I could play with them, and doll play is different for everyone. But doll play for me is dressing them, posing them, leaving them there on a shelf, looking at them, just being in the moment of I'm a kid right now, or
Right.
I'm an adult right now, but this is mine. This is beautiful. This is mine, you know? So if I did not have my dolls, I think I would have been as crazy as everyone else who didn't know what to do. Um, it's just I don't even want to think about what it would have been like if I did not have my dolls, because that
Right.
would have just been a total mess.
I think a lot of us would have. And I think that to some sort of extent, social media helped too.
Yeah, that's true. I really agree with that one.
Yeah, because a lot of us well, I think a lot of us went crazy through social media as well, but that's a whole different topic. Um, it's hard because a lot of us didn't have human interaction other than the people we live,
Yeah.
and even going to get groceries was like, oh my god, finally another human.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my mom still had to work. So because she stays at her job,
Essential.
she's a home health aide. So she stays at the job until on the weekend she comes home and stays for just the weekend. So I basically was literally by myself the entire week.
Oh,
So I had my little people. I had my little people with me to play. That's it.
did you talk to
And
them?
of course, I had people like you and my other friends who I could connect with through social media, of course, and through whatever apps we use to have a FaceTime with each other. So
Right.
I was really glad for technology as well, because technology really goes a long way for most of us as well.
Do you talk to your dolls?
No, I admittedly, if I drop one of them, I would say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." That I will do. But as far as talking to them, not really.
I do. I'll be like, "Oh my god, you look so pretty today. Your outfit, you're gorgeous. Who's the best? Who's
Oh
the
my
best
gosh.
for you now?"
I totally get that.
Like just like my moments that I have talking to them.
Yeah.
Well, recently I was telling Felipe too that like my nieces came over and it's like a play thing all over
Oh,
again.
that's
With
so
the-
cute.
Yeah, I have three girls for my sisters, and they're like insane about doll playing. They're toddlers, and the older one is the one that makes me want to talk, make them talk. So I
Hmm.
really grab a doll. Let me see if I have one. Oh, she's not decent because I was redressing her.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll be like, she'll be like, "Hey, hey, how are you? I'm good at you." I'll be like, "Oh, I love your." I'll be like, "Oh, I love your outfit." I was actually
Oh
telling
my
my sister,
gosh.
I was like, I feel like my normal talking voice is more girly than like the force. But I don't know. It's really cool to have that like child play again, like
Yeah,
making them
true.
talk, and I'm just like getting memories of like we had tons of VHS tapes.
Hmm.
You know what
Really?
they are?
Yeah. That's so awesome that you even have those.
No, we had them back in the 90s.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I wasn't sure because you're younger than me, so I don't know. I don't really know.
I know a few things like before my time just because of my mom and my dad.
Mhm.
And some of my siblings, they talk about certain things. And I also had hand me downs. So that's how I knew about most of those stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the 90s, we had the VHS tapes, like abundant, like a ridiculous amount of VHS. And what we would do is like we would stack them up,
Hmm.
make little doll houses with them,
Oh, that is so awesome.
or we would like pile them on top of each other to make stairs.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, man, that's the best. And we didn't really have a Barbie dream house just because like in the village we didn't really like have access to those things.
Yeah,
But
same. Same.
I remember we had like a box, like a big box that we cut out doors and like windows out of, and we had a lot of fun with that. When you're a kid,
That's incredible.
you don't really care when you're a kid. I think it's
That
like
is
we're
true.
adults, so we become spoiled and we want
Yeah.
the best. But look at us now.
That part.
No, I really admire that you do so many dioramas because I just don't have the space or the skill set.
Hmm.
So when I see yours, I'm like, wow. It's like I really wish I could just like get in there and like put my dolls in your dioramas, like take advantage of your work and just be like, here, I'm gonna take a picture with your setup.
Oh my gosh. I would not mind that at all, actually. Like, that would be awesome.
I just have a lot of respect for you and people that do dioramas. It's just
Thank you so
how do y'all do
much.
it? How do y'all do it?
Oh, trust me, find a way.
But do you look at like do you Google images of like houses or
No,
lots? How do you
I can actually say I actually don't look at images. Like, I don't like to take too much inspiration when it comes to building dioramas itself. I would do it possibly when I'm making clothes, but not when it comes to dioramas. With that one, it's really my creativity in working with what I have. Because even right now, from afar, it looks like something completely different, but they're technically two boxes from the last year's convention. They're actually two boxes from that convention. So I just stuck
Oh
them
wow.
together and I turned one of them where the doll would have been kept into a closet. And then the other one is a shelf unit.
See, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, most people won't even notice that, but that's really what I did. So I typically just like to recycle in a way. Um, Collecting Miss Barbie says it, and my Froggy stuff says it. are big on recycling, and I kind of like love the idea of that too, where if I have the boxes, let me just do this. I don't have the cash to be spending on dioramas right now, so let me just work on something I can do myself. Because in this community, you'll realize that you mostly have to help yourself, and that is just how this community is sometimes.
I'm glad that you mentioned collecting Miss Barbie because I love her. She's so
Oh,
cool.
she's amazing. Like she's just really amazing.
Yeah, I really like her. And what you said about like looking out for, that's so true. You have to look out for yourself
Yeah.
because otherwise it's just like you shouldn't sleep on it. I mean, of course you have like you do meet a lot of crazy people,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
mean people. Don't I know it? But you also meet a lot of nice and kind and supportive people that,
Yeah.
and that's what I was telling you earlier. I think it's really cool, like with the younger generation, when that there are groups of people that are really nice and really kind and very uplifting with each other, and
Yeah.
you don't really see that much. So
Yeah, it's true. And it's like I think it comes with a certain form of maturity as well, because I realized that with a lot of the younger ones, some of them are really horrible and some of them are really cool. So it's like a mixture of both. And I think it just comes with the mindset that people generally come on because they want to be seen and they want to be kind to other people. They want to showcase their stuff and they want to also branch out and have meaningful conversations in those DMs, because that's really how I was able to really meet so many wonderful people. Where my thing is, I respond to everyone within reason, because sometimes people jump into those DMs and they are just so disrespectful. Well, they can't even see how they're being disrespectful.
right.
And that's another problem. I don't respond to certain people when it comes to how you approach me. So how you talk to me the first time says a lot, and that sets precedence to everything. And sure, they say never judge a book by its character. Sorry, never judge a book by its cover or judge someone just by that one encounter. But at the same time, someone shows you who they are from the get-go a lot, and you sometimes do have to roll with that, because you're only setting yourself up for this person expanding on how horrible they are. And I'm not interested in that. I'm as old as I am and I don't have the time for it. I don't care about a lot of stuff nowadays just because of my mental health, where I'm like, I have to do this for me. I have to change the reasons as to why I post dolls. I love talking to people, but if you aren't a good person and you express that with your words, then I'm not going to talk to you. It's nothing against you. I have no hard feelings against you, but I have to do what's best for me because no one else is going to. So I realize that I do gravitate towards certain people, mature sets, less mature sets, but people who have a good sense of who they are, as well as how respectful they can be and how respectful they are. So those things are something I really pride myself on, because as a Jamaican person, my mom instilled in me a lot of good qualities that I have to show forth now as a young adult. And I'm glad that she was able to teach me certain things as a mom, because I don't think I would have had as many great interactions as I do now if I didn't have what she taught me. And I think that's what a lot of people lack in this community. As great as our community can be, it can be a horrible place as well, depending on who you talk to, um, what you do, and how you portray yourself.
And I think that's so important that you mentioned that you have to look after your mental health. And that's something that I learned too. It's like if someone's like, being mean to you, even if it's like behind your back or whatever, you just need to like step away.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Surround yourself by people that you feel comfortable with. If you no longer feel comfortable with somebody, you need to keep it moving. But what you said about approaching is such a big peep peep pet peeve. that's that's not even a hard word. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I just hate it when people are like, "How do you do that?" without even saying, "Hi, how are you?" or like, it's so simple. Like instead of like, and that's just like advice. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person. It's just like there's a certain etiquette or like a certain manner that you need to have when you approach someone. So
That
let's
is true.
say you made like a really cool reroute, you shouldn't be like, hey, how do you do reroutes, or like, how do you do that?
I completely feel you on that one. And I can say that I was guilty of something similar. But that was being a part of this community, you pick up a lot of things and you learn along the way. One of those things was, I think I had commented on someone's post and I went off on it. And someone mentioned it a couple months after, and I was like, I self reflected and I was like, oh, Kyle, that was horrible. Why did you do that? But it was more along the lines of, if you're going to comment on something, make sure it's clean. Not saying that it was dirty or anything like that. It's just I didn't have anything good to say about the particular doll that the person posted because it wasn't their personal photo, it was a stock photo. So I just said all the horrible things I didn't like about the doll and then left it there, not realizing that this was very toxic. So all of us, we have a level of toxicity, but we have to recognize it and fight it and change certain things if you really want to. Most people don't care about it, but I care about my image. I care about how I present myself, and I care about being as authentic as possible. And I don't ever want anyone to brand me with being fake because I don't believe I'm fake. I feel like I'm as honest as I can be, even when it comes to things I don't like. If I don't have anything good to say, I don't say anything. That's my thing. If I can't say something good, leave it alone. It's so easy to scroll past stuff you don't like, but the fact that you have to take time out of your day to throw your frustration on someone's posts, that is just wrong. Like, even if you want to ask a question, just like what you said someone asked you, the thing you do is, how I've learned is, if you have a question to ask, make sure you give a good positive comment first. Like, oh my gosh, I love what you did. This is a great design. How did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you approach it. Most people don't get that, and it's so sad. But as I said, it's a part of being in this community, learning by your actions, learning by the actions of other people, just trying to be a less toxic person as much as possible, because by the end of the day, we are all here together in this community because we all share the one love for dolls.
Well, I think that it's great that you realize that you were being to some sort of extent toxic with your comments. And another thing that I like to mention is a lot of my friends are designers in
Oh,
the toy industry. A lot of them are probably people that don't even have, social media. Some do, but it's so much work that goes into it. Like,
it
and a
is a
lot of
lot of work.
times it's like what the company tells them to make, and they give them so much budgeting and so much. I don't know if you saw my interview with Steven Sumner. It's like they have really restricted budgets. They have really restricted quantities, and it's a lot of work. So a lot of people don't even think about that. Like when they see new releases, they're like, "Oh my god, that looks hideous. That's horrible," or like whatever. And I think we've all been guilty of it at some point. Like I'm not
Yes,
saying I'm perfect. I'm not gonna be like,
definitely.
I'm perfect. I've never said that. You know what I mean? But the older you get and the more you get to meet these people, you realize that it's so much, it's out, not even hours, it's days, months sometimes of,
Yeah.
and then people become really detached to, I don't want to say public figures, but just all presentations, because they don't know the designer, they don't know the work that went into it. So they
Yeah.
like straight up rip it to pieces without really thinking that like the people that designed this also are humans too. You know what I mean? They have feelings. So I'm glad that you learned that, and I learned that too, because like I said, I've been guilty of it before, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really take much to be kind and just like
That is so
keep it
true.
moving. You don't like something, just
Yeah.
move on it. Why do you have to be so negative? Like, I really don't get it.
Yeah. I think my mind was more open like right after I went to convention for the first time with Integrity. When they started talking to us in the dinners and the lunches where they expressed what goes into making a doll, what have to do back and forth with manufacturers, so on and so forth. That's when I really had a more open mind to the whole situation, where I'm like, wow, you guys really go through a lot just to get that one particular doll. And sometimes what you want is not even what you get. And most times what you want is not what you get. But you still hope that everyone will love this anyways. And sure, you can't please everyone all the time. You please a lot of people most of the time. And that's a good thing. Um, and that's really what had me more appreciative of the designers that create these dolls and do what they have to do, because my mindset when it comes to dolls is, if I don't like it, I'm just not going to buy it. That's it.
Simple. Let
Like
them.
most people have, they're like acting as if they're being forced to buy this. No one's forcing you. It's an option. Come on, guys.
And it's just like the money power. It's really what talks.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like people don't realize that no one's forcing you to buy anything, like you said. Even with, let's take dolls out of the equation. Let's say that I don't know, there's like a new line of I'm so old, like that are coming out. Like if people don't buy it, they're not gonna make it. It's that simple.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
if you don't like a product that adult company is making, don't buy it, and they're not gonna make it. But if what I think people have to know too, it's like just because you don't like it, that doesn't mean that everybody don't like it. You know what I mean?
Right. That part. Someone is going to like it.
No one's gonna like it.
So
And I have friends that like everything. You know what I mean?
oh, yeah, I don't have any friends who like everything.
I do.
I feel like my group of friends are so specific and eclectic to what they like. Um where it's some of them have a wide range like myself, because I just love toys in general.
Mhm.
So I will sometimes buy OMG, or sometimes buy Barbie, or sometimes buy a ball jointed doll just to suit my fancy.
Right.
Um, so I would say I'm a wide collector of most things. But most of my friends, they collect either a specific thing, or some just collect integrity, some just collect Barbie, some collect both, and then that's just about it. But overall, we're all just trying to live out our childhood fantasies, honestly.
That's so true. And if I had the space, I'd probably be more white collecting, or white collecting. But I don't have space. Like giving you like the rundown. It's
Ugh, space is the problem too, because I have like a few dolls on my dresser displayed, and then I have dolls in plastic bins. So I can't put all my dolls in plastic bins because there's no space to hold all of them in
right.
that one plastic bin. So I literally have to keep dolls out because I don't have the space for them anywhere else. Um, so it's really that thing where you just have to make do with what you have. Um, put them every here or there, but they can't all be in the one place.
It's true. I was actually talking to some of my friends in the there's this tap. I don't know if you know that app, Tap Talk.
Type of talk, yeah.
Yeah. They have like a little group doll. And we were talking about spacing and everything, and I was thinking to myself and telling them if I had a warehouse, I would probably fill it up with things.
In the beginning, I'd say there's no way I can fill up a warehouse, but trust. Over time, that warehouse will have no more space, and they will need a second one, just because.
Well, it's hard because I like to go thrifting a lot. I'm
Mm,
I'm big on upcycling, like you were mentioning about you and collecting or like to do recycling. I like to do
yeah,
upcycling a lot. So you'll go to like a thrift store and you see like a dollhouse for like $8.
the lucky finds.
And I find so many of them, but I think it's just God telling me you need to get a bigger space.
That part. There are no good thrifting stores in New York, sadly. Someone made mention of something close by, and I'm gonna check it out. See how that works out. But officially, I don't know any good places to go thrifting in New York. So the best places I can go is Maryland, where my sister lives, or I've heard Chicago has good places there as well. But I'm not about to hop on a plane just to buy dolls. I would if I'm going to a convention, but not to go thrifting. Unless I'm like already there doing other things, and fine. But I would love to go more thrifting if I could. Because that's how I really find some of the dolls from my childhood that I never got to have as a kid. And for me, it's just a very euphoric feeling where you can see that doll from way back when, and you can have her in front of you and be like, wow, you're so pretty. And just fix her up or whatever the case may be, because that's really just a beautiful thing to be able to have pieces from your childhood that you feel like was stolen from you. And I feel like a lot of us have that sense of nostalgia about us, and that's why we really like collecting dolls from the past. So it's really a mixture of having the best of both worlds as much as possible.
Oh, trust me, that's the reason that I hoard Barbie so much. I didn't have access to them as a child, so now I'm like its own,
Right.
its
Mm-hmm.
own. And not because I didn't really like, my mom was cool. Like she'd have her moments where it's like, don't play with those. So mostly she was like, just do it. And my dad was
My
like,
mom too.
yeah. At some point my dad was like, he can play with, because I think it was mostly like outside voices telling them he
Mhm.
shouldn't be playing with dolls
That as well.
or
That
things
is
like
true.
that. And I guess there were, at some point my dad was just like, screw you guys, he can play with whatever he wants. And
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it wasn't so much, it's just like in the village. I'm very upfront about my background, and in a village you don't really have access to like Barbie or anything. If you go to like the town nearby, the most you can get is like a clone.
Yeah.
The ones that are like bald all over here.
We had that too.
They were bald all over
Where she
here.
just had like a hairline all the way around, and in the
Yeah,
middle is
you
just
just had the
nothing.
hairline right
So
here.
she can only wear a ponytail or a bun.
Yeah. Sorry you guys had to see my messy hair, but I just had to give you the rundown. It's like you don't have access to it. And then like the worst part was like seeing the commercials, like when you're watching cartoons.
Yes. And then you're like, but I can't have you.
Right. That's the worst. When I would see the commercials, I'd be like, oh my God, I want a Barbie doll so bad. So bad. Not a knockoff. The original, I want one so bad.
Right, that part.
Yeah. So like finally, like when we moved here, they're all over the thrift stores. You can get them anywhere. And it was game on. I started out by buying them for my sisters. Like, oh, I bought you a Barbie, but like I would secretly play with it. And now every time I go to a thrift store and I see one, I'm like, should I fix you up? I don't have that much room anymore,
Mhm.
but like I told you, you see like a lot of Barbie dream houses or like apartments for like $14, $8, and you're like, oh my God, I wish I had the space. You know what I mean? Because if you have like all this like play sets and everything, you can do so much with pictures. So
That is true.
we need to get that warehouse. And
Yeah.
ah,
Oh my
memory.
gosh.
And I want to. Who's that big boy behind you?
All right, so let me see if I can reach him properly. This is officially he's an FID, which is a fashion Ipple House doll. So the company is called Ipple House. This face sculpt is Bichun, but I just call him Kyle because he's my BJD version of myself.
I think it's gorgeous.
Just because of his eyes, I feel like I have well, I hear people tell me a lot that I have Asian eyes. So I'm like, really? So I just kind of went with it and I really liked him. I made this wig, by the way.
Wow.
My first wig. It's kind of horrible, but you can't see it, so thank God. Um I featured him on my page before, and I love him so much because of how realistic his body is also. I really like when dolls look good nude. Not saying I'm a pervert or anything like that, but I'm just saying I love when they look good outside of clothes. And for me, that was really the selling point for Integrity because I liked how the bodies looked naked. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm buying this. Just because realistic is what I like, but not too realistic where it just makes it less of a doll and more of a fantasy type of adult thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the
So him, he costs a lot, as you can expect with ball jointed dolls, but I don't regret a thing when it comes to my bigger dolls. I don't regret a thing with most of my dolls. Like if I ever feel like I regret something, then I can just sell it and be good with myself. But
right.
um he's one of my favorite in terms of larger dolls, and he is just so pretty.
Yeah.
I love him. He is about 19 inches tall.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and he's also from Korea because the company is Korean.
Wow.
Yeah, so just a little close up there.
He's so cool. And you're right, he is gorgeous.
Oh, don't fall. Please don't fall.
That's why I haven't ventured into other doll lines because I know I'm gonna be in trouble. So I'm trying to just kind of like for now, I'm
Ah.
like open to it, but I'm trying to just keep Barbie and integrity because I know that if I start getting into like ball jointed dolls, it's gonna be like a whole other thing, and then it's
Yep.
and realistically the space. I I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I like seeing your pictures, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
And what do you have planning up coming up with your clothing and everything?
All right, so I kind of want to keep it silent, just because where I'm mentally, with the struggles I've had with my own life in the past, and having to deal with them as an adult,
Mm.
because as a Jamaican male, you are not taught to express yourself or feel. You're taught to just be silent, and men should be strong and tough and never cry, stuff like that. So most of my past, I had to close off mentally, and being an adult now, I'm forced to deal with them because it just came back up. It's
Right.
not like a box I just willingly opened, it just popped up. So I have to go through that now. So dealing with that and my doll world, I want to start a line, and I'm putting certain pieces together to create that. And that's as far as I'll say. I just hope everyone stays tuned, and hopefully they love what I present.
And I'm sure it's gonna be amazing and perfect, like everything you do already. So I'm
Thank
really
you so
excited.
much.
Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much, Kyle, for coming over, and we're finally doing it. We've been planning it since like season one, but
Yeah.
like because of time constraints and life getting in the way, we finally did it. So I'm so glad. And
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure being your friend, and also coming on here to just share my life with you and other viewers. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
thank you so much, and new episode, and check out Kyle at Kyle 2.6. We're gonna leave his info right there. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.